you deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Marlon.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of Aggressive New Show with Lesbian S3. I am your birthday boy, Marlon, along with Anna Hart, along with Theas. On today's show, we're going to do like we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and we're going to do the news and review. The second hour is, sort of jam-packed, but not that much. I'm out the A-Hole Mafia video of the week, which is ironic. Give you that much. Positive story of the week, and going straight into Foxy's video of the week. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Got my balloons behind me that I'm just not going to take down to all the helium go out of it, and then I'll throw it away. I am wearing, let me put this down real quick. I am wearing the Joker shirt. You can see it. My grandson picked that out for me. So I said I am going to wear it on the show because they picked this out for me. It was a pretty good birthday. It really is. My leggings acted a fool, but all in all, it was a pretty good birthday. So thank you again. Anna, how's everything going?
Everything's going great. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it's been a good day. I hope the celebration continues for a while.
Thank you. This,
Everything's great. Sis, how
Yep,
you
yep.
doing?
Happy birthday to you, big bro.
thank you.
Glad you're enjoying your day. Great thing about you loving your birthday so much is you make it easier for us to remember. So, way to go, bro.
I'm going to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're having a really good day, man. You deserve it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So Afra, who's been here since the beginning, like I don't know how long before 7:49, so 10 minutes before the show, she's already she was ready. Happy birthday, Marlon. Thank you.
Did you see the video?
Yes, I did see the video. It is part of Foxy's videos of the week. At least
Well,
one of them is because it yeah.
all
Alpha
right.
was correct. It's something that need to be heard. So yeah.
Mhm. I
Um,
have seen it now. After sent in a video yesterday. Yes.
who you hired to sing instead of me? You'll be amazing. You can go on YouTube and literally look up your name and happy birthday song and it'll come up.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who just do that. Mars and Aries, now I know why he be ready to fight. Don't be ready to fight. I'll be ready to defend.
Yeah, that's a take on it. Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah.
Not like us peace-loving Scorpios.
Mm.
Happy birthday, Marlon. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. Grandkids? Yes, I have 3.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that sound right? Yeah, 3. It was a 4th one, but I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I hope you get that number right, bro.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I got the LOL. I got the notification. Thank you so much. I keep forgetting to tell people out of all those, please hit the
Ring the
like
bell.
button, please hit the subscribe button and everything. Hit the notification button too, because it will tell you that we're going live, that we are live, that a new video has come out and everything else. So yes, thank you, Alfred. That's appreciate that. I gotta remember to keep saying that. LOL, you know I had to instigate with my fellow signs,
Fire sign.
fire sign and Leos. I don't know anything about any of that. So I know I'm an Aries and we're the best signs. That's all I know. So without any further ado, let's get this party started. So I'm going to play this video that I played earlier during the week. I'm not going to play all of it, only for the simple fact of, one, the situation changed in less than 24 hours.
Mm.
But 2, I do want to give you a look back into what did happen. Jackie Robinson's military record was erased by the DOJ. Yeah, erased by the DOJ. So let's get into that real quick.
reports, and I hope these reports are inaccurate, that Jackie Robinson's profile has been removed from DOD websites. Please tell me that this is not true.
Sadly, it is, Joe. A page dedicated to Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson's military history has been removed from the Department of Defense's website. A previously existing article. Yeah, a previously existing article about Robinson's time in the Army during World War II now shows one of those page not found errors, and the new web page URL includes DEI before the story's headline, indicating it might have been taken down as part of the Trump administration's efforts to eliminate federal DEI programs. I'll say I saw this. Jeff Passan, ESPN writer, tweeted it this morning. He said, quote, I'll write, good job, Jeff. He writes, the ghouls who did this should be ashamed. And Congressman, this is not the only one. We've been talking in recent days how the page dedicated to the Enola Gay, the flight that dropped the atomic bomb in Japan, was taken down, likely because the word gay appeared in it. Other American heroes, Medgar Evers, page dedicated to him, civil rights hero, taken down. Jackie Robinson is the epitome of American hero and a veteran, and yet erased from the Department of Defense's website.
Yeah, that's right. And the code talkers, too. Let's not forget about the Navajo code talkers who literally helped us win World War II by communicating and keeping our secrets in a way that the Japanese could not break our codes. I mean, incredible stories of heroism trying to be wiped away, because that's what this administration does. That's what Donald Trump does. If it doesn't fit his narrative, if it doesn't give him credit for it, then it doesn't matter, and it should be wiped from history. Right. So part of our challenge here is not allowing that to happen, to keep history alive, to continue to tell the truth over and over and over again and call it out just like we're doing right now.
So that happened. I'm throwing a day out of there Tuesday. And I think I'm right. It's Tuesday. Because by Wednesday, we got this bit of news.
Well, Jackie Robinson's baseball legacy was caught up in a massive information purge this week by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
It's part of an automated effort to remove diversity content from all of the Pentagon's platforms. And we're talking about tens of thousands of articles. A Department of Defense webpage describing baseball and civil rights icon Jackie Robinson's military service was restored yesterday after it was missing earlier in the day. Robinson, of course, broke Major League Baseball's color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers. He'd served with the U.S. military during World War II. In a statement, the Pentagon says in rare cases when content is removed that is outside of the scope of the directive, the content is put back to recognize our heroes for their dedicated service alongside their fellow Americans. Now, Jackie Robinson's son was surprised by the Pentagon's decision to take down the sports heroes in the military history webpage. He talked about his dad's legacy and says, quote, he worked tirelessly on behalf of equal opportunities in education, business, civic engagement, and within the justice system. A recipient of both the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal, he is, of course, an American hero.
Now, I know the starting point of this was Jackie Robinson. But keep in mind that was not supposed to be the starting point. It was just a part of the starting point of a flush out of anything that remotely looks like DEI. Now, mind you, DEI wasn't around when Jackie Robinson was around. DEI wasn't around when the Navajo Code Talkers was around. DEI wasn't around when Medgar Evers was around. That program wasn't around when any of these people were alive. World War II hero, none of this is alive. It doesn't matter. The point of them doing this is to display, consciously or subconsciously. I don't care. I don't have to speak correctly on this. I didn't do it. But consciously or subconsciously, you're just looking at any minority that had any accomplished in helping build this country, obviously had help from somebody else. From a program, from a group, from a sponsorship, whatever. There is absolutely no way you minorities did something on your own. So we're gonna put you in this little box of DEI and erase you. The Tuskegee Airmen were one of the people that was erased from it. It was just a purge. The purge, by the way, was from a memo that came out in February. So they've been getting ramped up since February to do this purge. Jackie Robinson was just happened to be one of those purges. And that story was the one that got out. I'm going to start talking because I do have an end statement when it comes to this story. I don't want to step on anybody's time. So, Anna, do you have anything?
It's just a disgrace. I mean, we all know what it's about. And they're cowards. Yes, you wanna?
Yeah, sure. I mean, where do you begin? So this whole
Right.
DEI thing, like Afra said, anti-blackness. This whole DEI thing is a smokescreen. It's trying to instigate or promote anger so that people will react. I mean, I get it for the families of these men and women. It's an insult that you would just so callously remove them from these websites. But speaking just for me, I honestly really don't care because I've already rejected these people. So them rejecting me and my people mean very little to me. Like I can't get overly concerned about what my adversary or my opponent thinks or does. It's just wasted energy, right? So you took this story off of the website. It needed to be brought up because it shows the incompetence of this administration, because it's like they literally put out a web crawler and said, here are some keywords. If you find it, take it down. And it just ran through everything to do that. That's deep. That's very incompetent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and like one of the things that brought it was, I think is just kind of comical or humorous, is like with the Enola Gay part. So first part is humorous because that's somebody's name, right?
Yeah.
Right. But the part that's shameful about it, though, why are we holding up in great esteem one of the greatest war crimes in human history? That plane was used to drop an atomic weapon on a civilian population. Only a monster would celebrate this. So that's, it's like it's humorous and it's dark and it's shameful and it's all those things. So yeah, it doesn't really, that's how I felt about that part. But with Jackie Robinson and Tuskegee Airmen and things like that, it's wrong, it's callous, it's lazy. But I would still come back to the people who are upset outside of the direct family members, the people who are upset. And have you studied anything about these people? Do you talk to your children about these people? Do you talk to your family members about these people? If you don't hold these people in high regard, why would you expect your opponent / adversary, or at best, callous government to hold these people in higher esteem than you do? Save me the fake outrage. Many more things to be outraged about. But I do once again understand that this is something that needed to be raised because it at least draws attention to things that are happening. But yeah, it's kind of like with the whole segregation thing. You need to talk about it. You need to raise people's attention to it. Can't get mad about it.
No. I see what you're saying.
My last point was, and I said it earlier during the week, and I did get the whole outrage thing. Like, here they go again, trying to erase our history and erase our culture and blah, 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 and everything else. And I was getting up in an uproar. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if Thea's essence tapped me on the top of the head or something, but it's like, dig deeper. Just dig deeper. And I decided, okay, I'm going to dig deeper. And Theus, you kind of touched on it. And I said in the video, why are we so concerned about how they control our narrative? Why every time they are erasing our history? They can't erase our history if we know our history. We are the gatekeepers of our history. You could take all the books out that you want to. You could take all the articles that you want to. You could do all that stuff that you want to. But the Black community is supposed to keep Black history alive.
Hey, Marlon, you know why I think part of it comes down to is we as a community, we are the moral conscience of this country. And we find it hard to look at someone and say that they're our enemy. And because we won't label an enemy, we feel offended when our enemy does something bad to us. Like, your enemy's not telling your story. You know, if you say that out loud, your enemy is no longer telling your story.
Yeah. And they control. I will try. I ain't gonna say I'll succeed. I'll no longer will. They are erasing our history. They are not erasing our history. They are trying to control our history. That's all it is. They are going to tell you who the good guys are. They're going to tell you who the bad guys are. They're going to tell you what are facts. They're going to tell you what are fiction. They're going to tell you what's true. They're going to tell you what's false. And all you're going to do, Black community talking to you, is get up into an uproar. And how dare they? How dare they? Because you allow them. If you have not one time, I do it all the time with my grandkids. I teach them a little bit about Black history. I don't get deep in, the whole graphic matters of everything, but you're going to know that we did do something for this country. Because just because Karen said that, hey, I don't want little Tommy to know about this, your Black grandchild, your Black child needs to know that they did. So when Tommy pops off with his mouth saying, you didn't do anything in this country, yes, we did. And here are the facts. But if you don't teach them anything, who do you think they're going to listen to? They're going to listen to little Tommy. Because little Tommy only knows his history. Little Tommy knows a little bit about your history because there is little about your history that's taught in their schools. You have just taught your child, you have just given your child the least amount of knowledge ammunition possible to fight back with.
Now, within that, I think a huge piece is we have to work with our children on contextualization and about self-worth and self-identity, right? Teach them to uncenter any other culture, right? You place every culture as an on equal parallel out there, right? You center yours, you value others. That's the important thing. And so hopefully we can get our children to the point. Well, first we have to get there to where little Tommy or Tommy's dad says something ignorant like that, like you didn't do anything or whatever, and just say, that's what you think. Right? I'm not here to educate. Y'all heard me say this over the years many times. I'm not here to educate you on nothing. Right? I know what I know. So I'm going to teach those who are of like mind or share information with those who are of like mind. But if you're standing in opposition to me or you're just blissfully ignorant, I'm not here to dispel any of that. Like I am not the white people whisperer. That's not what I'm here to do. So you come to me and you say your people didn't do anything. That's what you believe.
Thank you, Parker. Yeah, it starts at home, and we need to get back into doing that. We need to start back at home. The funny thing about it is, this is how weird my mind works. Even on my birthday, my mind is just warped. It does remind me of an episode of Good Times. I'll tell you the synopsis. It's real
I don't remember
short.
nothing from Good Times, so I'm listening.
Yeah. Michael got in trouble at school, the younger son. He got in trouble in school because the teacher was telling him, these are the facts about history. And Michael was, in case y'all don't know, is the militant of the family. He's the,
he's
Black
educated.
Panther of everything. And he said, no, that's not true. And of course, back then, any form of saying the teacher is not telling the truth is a form of disrespect. And he would not apologize. So he was going to get a spanking. But as Jace was telling them, he was like, yeah, but I want to explain to you why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I do not want you to work as hard as it. Anyway, Michael at a point in time said, I want to be like my hero. And he started spewing off a whole bunch of Black heroes in history. And he was saying, how do you know this? And he was like, I was reading through the books at my school, and not one time did I see any of the heroes of American history were Black. And I knew that couldn't possibly be true, that we had to be a part of this history. So Florida, who's the mama, came in and said, but you do understand, if you didn't read through those books and come to that conclusion, you would have never went to the Black books and read the truth.
Florida was deeply problematic.
I know. I never did like that part either. But I did like it because I hate the fact if you didn't come to that conclusion. Well, Michael wanted to be a Supreme Court judge. So how many people will come to that conclusion to go look at other books? Or how many people is going to look through the book and go, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and this is why, and I'm serious. This is deliberately why I raised my kids the way I do. From the time they were little bitty bitties, I have always pushed them to question me, question anybody, anything. Right? I to this day, it's one of our fun things. Like I will intentionally just make up something that is contrary to what they believe or think, and then have them defend it. Just randomly, just what we do. This is part of our fun thing. And I do that because of what was just illustrated about Michael, right? Now, you will always have individuals like Michael. They're just wired different. You teach them about the founding of the country, and they immediately are looking for, well, what's missing from this story, right? But most people just take what's given to them so they can get through the moment, right? So I'm saying teach your children critical thinking skills, teach them deductive reasoning, teach them reverse engineering, teach them these skills so that when they're encountering something that doesn't quite feel right or sound right, they'll be curious enough to want to go figure it out. You know, it is just an anecdotal thing, but it's funny. Is my middle child, when she was little, she was probably like 3rd, 4th grade, and she came home with a book about Nelson Mandela, and I was like, why'd you pick that book? Right? And she's like, because I was in the library and I saw his face on the book and I just really wanted to see who this man was. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because this is the child who followed me around. She's attached to my hip. And what you would hear constantly, and I used to get talked to, my mom would ask me, like, baby, you need to be careful what you listen to around your children. And so, look, my kids heard Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, like that's Fannie Lou Hamer. That's what they heard constantly. And this one was the one that's closest to me. So she was hearing it, absorbing it. So she wanted to know more about her people. Right. So that's, I say that's, and it's completely anecdotal, but I say that because what you were saying, we got to get back to that. The way we get back to that is not so much teaching the names and the events, but encouraging curiosity and encouraging a love for what you see when you look in the mirror and when you walk down the street. If I can get you to love that person that you're looking back at, and the people who reflect that to you when you walk down the street, you'll go figure the rest of it out. We got to get you to fall in love with yourself and fall in love with your people.
Last word, Anna.
That's incredibly interesting hearing. Because I agree with so much of that, except the love of your people and what they've done. You know, my people don't have that great of a story. They do in some places, but overarchingly, we are the bad guys. We are trying so desperately to change that narrative, but not by making ourselves better people. No, we're trying to erase books. We're trying to take...
Rewrite the script.
Yeah. And it is bonkers to me. Because I know that everything in life has a lesson to it. And, you know, I'm one of those little white girls who came home being like, I don't like the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, why not? Because I don't like the blind nature of it all. And to which my parents both said, you have our permission to go and protest that in whichever way you see fit. You know, they brought out somebody who, yes, they taught to question. They taught that at most you will get a skimming of the story. You always have to look deeper. And for the most part, I had teachers who hated that. But every once in a while, I had a history teacher who would grab onto that. I had this one history teacher who taught us the stuff that wasn't in the book. You know, he actually held up the book on day one and said, everything in here lies. And he tossed the book aside. Every single one of the students sat up at attention that day. And we all loved that class. And everything that he taught, I was able to go yes, he wasn't. It was okay to say that, you know, hey, we weren't the good guys in this story with him. And I didn't feel guilty, you know, all the stuff that parents are worried about these days. My little Timmy will feel bad. Yeah. I'm going to go for it, Marlon, because bad shit happened. We should actually feel bad because that's empathy. That's actually some compassion and caring for your fellow human being. If you reach deep down in there, I'm sure it's there for you too. That's me talking to my cousin. You know, so yeah, it was hard to, because this administration is throwing out so much with the flood the zone or whatever you want to call it, and people are grabbing onto things that are easy to be angered by instead of either looking at the whole situation or looking at the big things or seeing how things are connected. And I just want to beg people, if nothing else, please start looking how things are connected.
Well, you won't hear me do this very often, but I think, and I'm very clear on this particular point, which is something that was, I guess, reinforced mostly by the Black Panther Party. It's power to all people, right? So that's Black people, white people, brown people, all the people, okay?
Yeah.
So when I was saying you need to be able to look in the mirror and love who you see, that includes little white children, all right? And as James Baldwin kind of said, and I'm gonna kind of butcher this a little bit, but he's saying the psychological wage of whiteness is what's crippling to white America. Because see, first of all, there's really no such thing as whiteness. You're way too many people, right? Whiteness is just the counterpoint to blackness, right? Because like blackness, diasporically speaking, it just means we came from the continent.
Okay.
In America, Black is our tribe. We are the descendants of enslaved Africans. So it's shorthand for African American. So it means different things depending on who you're talking to, right? More often than not, Black just means us as African Americans. But what I was getting at is white people need to, and it's on y'all to do this, but y'all need to also do some deep introspection. But it's hard for it to be done because power allows you an opt-out choice, right? Power allows you to not have to do the work. But you got to push through that because being white does not make you the bad guy in every situation. It was white folks that opposed Hitler.
Right.
Don't forget that, right? So, yes, whiteness has been a huge problem on this planet. The European, generally speaking, European culture is horrid. But there's also, when there was fascism and it was storming across the globe, it was fellow Europeans who stood up to fight that. Did they do it out of self-interest? Yeah. But that's how most people fight a war. So there's things to be proud of. The overwhelming force of the South and the North was pro-slavery. But there were still abolitionists that were white, right? So if nothing else, try to find out for yourselves where your family fell in that. And if you don't do that or you can't do that, ask yourself truly, where do you personally line up with these different trigger points throughout history? And if you are repelled or you reject these dark parts of European history, then there's probably a light side too that you should be able to attach to. So now feed that, right? The people out there attacking Tesla, those are people who are like, yo, we're against this stuff. So resist the urge, white people, to just be like, oh, we're always the villains. No, more often than not, y'all the villains, but all of you are not villains. And some of you are heroes. So if you are a hero, walk in that light. Be that thing, right? Stop hiding. Stop blending into your privilege. Use your privilege, right? Don't be ashamed you have privilege. Use it, right? Just use it for better, ends, better means, right? So I just wanted to kind of throw that little nugget out there. You're not going to hear that from me too often, not because I don't feel it, because I do feel it, but it's because where we are in this moment, my energy has to be more focused on building my community and trying to figure out how we can get our love of self in check so that we can get ourselves organized and ready. Because when all this mess burns down, there's going to be new shoots of growth. And I want us to be one of those shoots of growth that is positioned to be in a better position coming out of it than we were going into it. So that's why I mainly speak on that particular note. But I do want to encourage the good people out there, regardless of your color, regardless of even your family history. Who are you? What do you believe in? And what are you willing to do? And that doesn't mean you pick up a weapon and go storm the hill, but it does mean you find out where you can play your part, and damn it, play your part. Sorry, Marlon.
Oh, it's my birthday. Go ahead.
Oh, are you going to touch on the segregation thing?
No.
You're not?
No.
Cool. Well, I'll do it. Hey, so we got like a early Christmas present. Okay. MAGA has decided that segregation is okay. And because what MAGA controls is the federal government, they start there. That on the surface, that's bad, okay? Because now you're going to be dealing with some really cocky people that you shouldn't have to deal with, okay? The attitude was already there. All this is already there, okay? It's a continuation of the attack on blackness that's been flowing this whole time. And how they're going after the Department of Education is in large part because of the non-discriminatory protections that are there. They're going after DEI and things like that in the military because of the non-discrimination protections that are there. This is all about getting rid of being punished for being discriminatory. This is all about. And if you can get the government in line, then it can flow out to the private sector. And there you go. But the reason why I say this is a little bit of a Christmas present is because, hey, most of us don't want to be around you no way. So, like that one video says, please hang up the sign. Please hang up the sign that tells me that black folks are not welcome in whatever establishment. Please hang the sign, because I don't want to be around people who don't want me around them. You can't reject what's already rejected you. Okay, so you hang the sign, I'll be like, okay, you enjoy yourselves in there. I'm going to go down here where people actually do value diversity or do value inclusion, right? I'll go over there. Because one of the things I've said in the past is, one, we're not ready for what's coming, but there are a lot of us working to try to get us ready for it. And no matter what, we will rise to the occasion. That is what our history is. That's what the human spirit is. So we'll rise to the occasion. It's going to be a little bumpy. But don't lose sight, which is part of the original thing I said with respect to what Anna was saying. Everybody ain't bad. Now you got to walk through life understanding that most people might be, because that's how you keep yourself alive. But everybody not bad. So a lot of these big companies, they're not going to discriminate against you because they're publicly traded. They're multinational companies. You can still push against them. And you can still go to them and buy things and be employed and all those things. But the companies that decide that, oh, yeah, Trump made it possible for me to say that you can't eat here, thank you. Thank you. Right? It's anecdotal, but I done heard this from enough of my fellow compatriots. Certain folk don't like to wash their hands when they go to the bathroom. I kind of like the fact that if I can't eat with you, then I don't have to touch the little thing that's sitting in the salad to get my salad. Nasty, you know? So, you know, little stuff like that. It's cool. There's enough options. The world is flat enough and big enough that you can still get done what you need to get done. Hell, they already making it so you can't live in certain places. Now they might have to be a little more honest about it. Right? But I'm just saying, don't freak out. I'm loving the fact that as a general mood, our folks are just like, and that's my story of segregation.
That's honestly, actually the reason why I didn't want to say anything about it. It was never this. The segregation part was never the issue. Never was.
No, I disagree there.
No, it was the equal part of separate but equal. It was the, oh, we're going to separate black and white, but everybody's going to have equal everything, but it's just a flat out lie.
Yeah.
Let us count how many times there have been black booming communities that you figured was too booming. And we're going to have to find a way to destroy it. I'm not going to use no cute word. To destroy it. So it was never the segregation. You want us to do our thing? Cool. We'll do our thing. You leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. Everything cool. We cool. But you didn't like that equal part.
So here's why I got to push. This is important. It's important. I promise you it is. Coming forward in history, right? Coming out of slavery and into into the Freedmen's Bureau, and then into Reconstruction, and then into Jim Crow. That is having nothing, fighting for your humanity, and fighting for degrees of freedom, and finding ways to build along the way. And then white jealousy, white rage coming in and destroying things, right? That was segregation. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, God, peace be unto his name, as he would often say, segregation is what is imposed upon a lesser. Separation is chosen by an equal. So I have a serious problem with segregation. That's why I always push back when people say that segregation wasn't a problem. Segregation absolutely was a problem, because segregation relegated us to substandard living conditions, substandard housing, substandard everything. And we could be harmed with impunity. That was segregation. And like you said, separate but equal was just a lie. It was a slogan that they just tacked on to it, right, to make it more pleasant to the moderate, people. But segregation was bad. I will stand on that. I will fight on that hill. Segregation was bad, 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 bad. Desegregation was good, 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 good. Integration was deeply problematic. So there's a difference for me. So now, hey, they're trying to impose segregation, but they're trying to impose segregation in today's time. You're trying to impose segregation at a time where our community has already chosen separation. So, okay, So I think that's an important distinction. I know that to some people it may sound semantic, but those words, separation and segregation, really are powerful terms, and that's why I say that.
All right, let's move on to everybody because we got a whole bunch of new viewers, and I really appreciate everybody that's coming in and watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and move on to our second and final story of the hour. A Black community, Lincoln Heights in Ohio, had a Nazi rally near their neighborhood. They called the police. The police came, but not very much was done because technically, and I use that in quotations, they were not doing anything wrong. So the Black community decided to take matters into their own hands.
Turn now to one community in Ohio, which is now the center of a growing national debate about civil rights, hate speech, and the Second Amendment. NBC News correspondent and NBC News Now daily anchor Morgan Radford visited the town of Lincoln Heights, where residents have formed an armed community defense group in the wake of a neo-Nazi rally. Morgan joins us now. You were there just on Tuesday. What did the residents tell you about what's going on?
Yeah, I was there just this week. John, it was fascinating because what's interesting is that this town was founded during the Great Migration back in the 20s as a refuge for Black citizens, which is why it was especially painful when neo-Nazis suddenly appeared in this 3,000-person majority Black town. But they decided to fight back, taking up arms and patrolling their own streets. Now they're at the center of a much larger debate about protection and free speech and who gets it.
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
We're business owners, we're fathers, we're sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority Black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio.
Ain't nobody scared of you.
After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers.
First African-American community above the Mason-Dixon line of establishment.
Safety and Watch Group spokesperson Durrance Daniels says the police did not do enough, which was more chilling because the town was founded in the 1920s as a safe haven for Black residents.
Lincoln Heights is our home. If somebody broke into your home, you call the police, and the police says, if they do it again, we haven't broken any law, so we're just going to allow them to break into your home again. What would you do?
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a Black man in my community than I have right now.
The mayor of Evendale, which oversees the police force that responded that day, said in a statement to NBC News, "Our emphasis on de-escalation and public safety resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved." But residents here say they can't afford to wait. Every day, the Safety and Watch Group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
While many locals do support the security group, some, like business owner Eric Ruffin, say they wish the group wasn't needed.
We don't want to become what we hate. You know, we don't want to become a group of people that walk around feeling like we have a reason in America to have to protect ourselves.
And this community
Stand up.
Stand up.
is not backing down.
We contacted the mayor of Evendale's office, and they say that prosecutors are looking at body camera footage of the neo-Nazi rally to see if any criminal charges could be filed. But meantime, the Hamilton County Sheriff is also calling on state lawmakers to pass legislation making it a crime to wear a mask with the purpose of intimidation while open carrying, guys.
I want to address this real quick before I get into the second video. I wanted to address Ruffin when he says, I don't want us to become what we hate. I have no idea what that means. I get the concept of what you're trying to say, that you don't want it to escalate to the point where we become neo-Nazis or whatever. But protecting your neighborhood is not becoming what you hate. I get that sometimes the people who are bullied become the bullier, but the majority of the time, when you stand up for yourself, you defend yourself, and you move on with your life. It's very rare that the bullied becomes the bullier. So I get what he is trying to say to me, but I just don't like that we're still in this, well, let's not push the button yet. Let's communicate a little bit more. Let's see if we can work with the police department and see if they can protect us more than we can protect us. And I don't like that. And maybe it's for the simple fact that I got a year older. I'm over that. I'm over it. I'm over always looking for somebody else to protect our community. I'm done. I'm done with the high road. Look, I have no problem communicating with you after I defend my home. Not before. And definitely not during. But I have no problem talking to you after I secure my home, my neighborhood, my children, my wife, my grandchildren. I have no problem communicating you afterwards. Now, I said all that because it is I pat myself on the back. It's a tremendous segue into the next question, into the next video. The next video is somebody asking that exact same question in a roundabout way. Do you think this will, and he used a different word, I can't remember what he said, but do you think it will spill over in other
national? Yeah.
Yeah. So here is that video.
So, Morgan, let me ask you, one of the people you interviewed there, a young man, said he's never felt safer in his community than he does now. So this could have an impact nationwide, things like this. I mean, there is a contagion factor in safety. People always seek it. What did the mayor or anybody that you spoke to think about the contagion factor?
Duran's, I don't want to speak for him, but after my conversation with him, I feel like I could confidently say he would say the contagion factor has already happened. Because when I asked, is this a reaction to a local moment or a national movement? And he said, look at January 6th. He said, you already have people felt emboldened to come here locally because of what they saw nationally. If you can hang from the building of the hallowed halls of the Capitol and then be pardoned, not be prosecuted, why don't you think you can come to a small village of African Americans, only 3,000 people?
Morgan, does the group have any real authority? But as long as they stay within the confines of the law, they should be okay.
It's a great question. You know, I asked that? Basically, are you stopping cars when they come in because you think someone looks suspicious? Is that, profiling in its own sort of way? And they said, no. We are patently aware of what our rights are and what our limitations are. They said, we're not officers. What we do is we are trying to cooperate with the police department. So if we see suspicious activity, because remember the KKK came back with flyers just after this rally. So they're saying this is more of a defensive posture to deter people from entering our community and showing them, by virtue of our masks, by virtue of our guns, that you can't come here and we're not going to take this punch lying down.
So, if you listen to what was said about Jan 6, about a bunch of people who mentally or unmentally, whatever, to tear into the Capitol building, tear into it. And that's the only image that people had. It was terrible. It was disastrous. No, pulling a Theas, dig deeper. You're talking about a group of people who went to the country's capital, went to the Capitol building, tore into the building, destroyed it, hurt military, hurt police, went and built a noose in the middle of the yard, took down the American flag and raised a Trump flag, screaming and yelling, "Kill Mike Pence." And you don't think anybody would go through a neighborhood of 3,000? And the funny thing about it is so minuscule, but it is so minuscule, you may already almost missed it. It had already started. That is a majority Black neighborhood. And yet the KKK decided, since the Nazis went through it, we'll go through it the next day. This may be a form of protection. Agreed. This is also a form of de-escalation. To the point of, okay, the Nazis done came through here, neo-Nazis came through here to the food. Now the KKK feel emboldened to come in the next day and put out flyers. I don't want to see what happens the third day. So we need to rally the troops. And we have got to get out of this mindset, Black community. We have got to get out of this mindset of starting to be more proactive than reactive. You cannot possibly, by this time in your life, not know what's coming unless you purposely try to be blind to it. And constantly try to think, try to de-escalate, try to be proactive is somehow because another group of people told you that if you try to protect yourself, you are all of a sudden escalating the situation. Let us handle it. Right. Nah. Oh, I get cranky at 53. Can't wait to see what I act like at 54. Shoot. Maybe a militant.
All right, so a couple quick things, man. Or I don't know, a couple things. All right. First of all, stop listening to people who don't advocate for you. Okay, if you haven't learned that yet, then you need to learn it now. Okay, we talk about the hypocrisy of the conservative movement and the MAGA movement, how they'll say one thing and say the opposite thing when it suits them. You know that that's the case. So that means don't listen to anything they say. Even if they tell you the truth, count it as a lie. If they tell you a lie, count it as a lie. Stop listening to them. What they think, what they believe is irrelevant. Okay. Now, I encourage people to, because a lot of people do not know this, look up the Deacons for Defense. Go back, look them up, study about them. And you will see that what this community in Ohio has done is they've reactivated the spirit of something that's already been laid out.
Mm-hmm.
The Deacons of Defense, they preceded the Black Panther Party, which hopefully what you just saw about the Ohio resistance, maybe that sparked a memory to you, because that's how the Black Panther Party started, right? So we have a history of defending ourselves, and what we need to also incorporate is a belief to stop listening to people who do not have your interest. So, like, for example, this little panel on Joe. That panel for me harkens back to nearly every panel that I've watched where Malcolm X was speaking, where Martin Luther King was speaking, where Stokely Carmichael was speaking. And what you would find is it would either be the white conservative or the white liberal, didn't matter. Their obsession is always with how are you going to respond? It's very seldom, if ever, about what started the problem, who brought in the force and the intimidation. It's always about how are you going to respond? What is your position on violence? What is your position on firearms? It's even in this. Go back at your leisure and look at these clips. They did not spend more than 2 seconds on the neo-Nazis who came into the community in hopes of intimidating. And then I want you to look at the clip. The clip on what looks like it was a bridge. Who were the police standing closest to and facing as though to control their forward motion? It was the residents.
Mm-hmm.
They had their backs turned to the hostile party that came in, also armed. So you have to zoom out, folks, and realize that this is not a plaything. This is a continuation of our history. This is most importantly, a continuation of their history. And if you know what they've done in the past and you see that they're following the same script, then you need to learn what's going on. I do not care I don't care what the other team says. I just don't. And when you have your little fake liberals who will come out and say, whoa. Well, we don't want to meet that same anger with anger, in code. You guys are supposed to be the nice ones. If y'all just take it easy and it'll go away. No, it won't. We take it easy and we're going to start finding strange fruit. And those of you who know history know what strange fruit means. All right. So we don't need that. So this community steps up and it says, hey, all y'all might come in, but all y'all ain't going to make it out if you're going to come in here that way. It's not about being able to win a fight. It's not about looking for a fight. It's about, if the fight comes, being ready to react to it, no matter what the cost may be. Now, if you do not come in, I will not have to push you out. You know what I'm saying? It's like the gardening analogy that I once presented to you. I just want to work in my garden. I want to focus on building the fruits and the vegetables. I want to focus on building my young people and my young adults and caring for my elders and building infrastructure and building businesses and building our own schools. That's where I want to be. Just leave me in my garden and I will take care of the weeds in my garden. I'll take care of the parasites in my garden, but I'm over here working. But if you decide to come in my garden and you want to try to harm my garden, then I have to fight you. But I'm not going to leave my garden to go get you. You see what I'm saying? And that's this thing here. And we're like, well, notice he used the word contagion. Self-defense was used in the framing of a contagion, not the attack, not the assault, not the invasion. No, those were not called a contagion. The contagion was, will more vulnerable people decide to fight back? And I'm going to bookend this with this. Tesla. Tesla is a private company. It is being assaulted by various degrees of civil and non-civil unrest. What was the government response? To find out why these people are upset, or to label them domestic terrorists? The problem is all you got to understand where power is operating and where power is playing from, and govern yourselves accordingly. So these people who decide to stand up, I'm very proud of them. To even present this as, you know, well, where does it stop and how do you keep it from spreading? What do you mean? How? They're not getting in cars and vans and going into the neighboring neighborhood.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I said it about last
literally
like you act like they're getting pamphlets and going to the neighborhood and I'll show you the path. No, they're doing that neighborhood. If another neighborhood picks up on it.
Right. And all of these are reactions. Stop the aggression and you don't have to worry about the reaction. But the European American way, this government's way, is to look at whose side do I prefer, what side do I feel like I can relate to, and then how do I address the other side? Right? And that's the reality of the situation. That's the ground that we stand on. So, yeah, don't listen to these people. Do what you need to do. Be ready to protect your family. But this does not defy what I've always said also about escalation. They came. You responded. They came again. They responded. The history is clear. They will come again. You have to be ready to respond.
Yep.
You carry these things for a reason. So when they come back, they're going to be coming back to use the things that they carry. So yes, this is escalatory. There is no winner in where this thing goes. But the way to diffuse the situation is that law enforcement needs to do its real job. You need to stop the incursions. But it's really hard to stop the incursions when you're part of the raiding forces.
Anna, you have the last word for the hour.
Nope. I have nothing to add to that. That was perfectly said.
All right, everybody. If you're new to the show, we're going to take a 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. And we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I always stay dreaming, never imagine might lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising. I'm soaring above it. It all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Higher to above you, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it. It all, I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
We are back, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, OurUnitedCore.com. Communities build movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour. So smooth, so smooth, so smooth. Am I the a-hole? Diaz, I'm so happy that you're on this show. Because what is your intake on your input on escalation? My husband's manhood.
My husband has been sick for a few months now and recently had a surgery. My parents hosted dinner for him and invited the whole family. My sister's husband, Mike, is the tell it as it is type of man. Basically, the brutally honest type. My sister says she loves him for his honesty, but because of it, we've had issues in the past. After dinner, we were sitting down while my husband was in another room. He was getting some rest. Mike looked at me and asked if my husband was still good in bed, because he has read that when men get sick, their performance would get lower. I was floored by his question. Everyone was looking at me in silence. It was absolutely awkward. My sister smiled at me as a sign to let it go, but instead I responded, well, at least better than men who can't even impregnate their women. Oh, shit. I mean, he's brozo, but boy, did OP just get right down on his level and be like, you want to play in the mud? I'll play in the mud, motherfucker. Here we go. Now, this is where I might be the asshole. Mike and my sister have suffered from infertility for 10 years, and it's on Mike's side. This response caused a huge argument, and although Mike stormed off and didn't say anything, my sister went off calling me abhorrent and shaming me for going low and using her husband's infertility against him. I told her he insulted my husband's manhood, but she said I took this whole thing out of context and made it personal, since he was just talking about men in general. After the argument, she and Mike left, and my mom demanded that I apologize. My husband didn't even know what we were arguing about. Mom told him I was arguing with my sister over dessert. I mean, sort of. Mom said I was in the wrong for hurting my sister's feelings with what I said, and told me to apologize, but I still refused. Am I the astronaut?
That went by. Theus, you're muted, but that went by so quick that I'm going, wait, what?
The part that I missed was like she said her husband was sick. Was sick with what?
And they never say it.
Oh. All right, so this is what you want. My take on. So I don't like petty behavior no matter what. I think it's unbecoming and it's unnecessary. That doesn't mean you don't fight back, but I just don't like petty. And to me, that was kind of like a petty move, right? So if you're saying, you know, does your husband, is he still got the moves or whatever the hell that he wasn't like, then you call him out like, yo, what are you even talking about? I'm saying it's none of your business, and then we fight there, right? I personally wouldn't attack a physical trait of someone that, in theory, I care for or love, even when it's technically fair play. But you know, it's just how I get down, right? Like me, if I'm going to have an argument with somebody, unless I'm ready to never have anything to do with you ever again, and even then I probably won't do it, I'm not going to attack you in the area that I know will cause the deepest psychic harm. All right, if you're dealing with a woman who is sensitive about her weight, I will not attack her on her weight. You dealing with a man who is sensitive about his manhood or something of that nature, I'm not going to do it. You're dealing with somebody who is broken inside because they lost their mother and they never were able to get past that, I will not attack you there. Like the thing I know will break you, I will not go there unless I'm ready to never deal with you again, or I want to have to put my hands on you. And I'm a grown man. I ain't really trying to fight nobody no more. And I'm not gonna go that kind of nuclear on a family member. It's not.
Alan?
Yeah, like I said, I'm still missing some of that beginning information. It did seem petty, and why would you go there? What are you laughing at?
Afra's statement.
These sound like Survivor lyrics. I'm better than that. From the people that brought you, if you go low, I'm going to go lower and things like that. I really am the one person that would say I will not take a stance on this one, though. The reason being is you, OP, said you attacked my husband. And he did. And you try to the wife of the husband tried to backtrack with, he was talking in general. No, he flat out said, do your husband. That's not general. That's your husband. He's talking about OP's husband. That was straight up one person. But what you said back wasn't attacking him, the husband, the arrogant husband, the sister's husband. You wasn't attacking just the sister's husband. You attacked both of them. That was way lower than it needed to be. It really was. I think I would take Theus's approach and go, yo, I'm tired of your mouth. Your oh, here's the second hour. You call it being brutally honest. I call it being an ass. And you've been an ass for years since the day I met you. So just to let you know from this point on, when you ask them bullshit questions, I'm going to call you an asshole. So let's just go ahead and get that out. Go ahead and get that out on Front Street. You want to call it brutally honest, I'm going to call you an asshole. I'm brutally honest too. I brutally honestly think you're an asshole. But what you said, OP, yeah, that was a little one step too far because, yeah, in Reddit world, we would always say, well, the sister know how her husband is, and she looked over to the sister and was like, please let this go. Don't say nothing and everything else. So she's a part of it and everything. I get that, but that's her husband. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know if the sister was going to take her husband home and go, look, you need to cut this shit out. Because now you're fucking with my family. Well, I'm just being brutally honest with you. No, you're not. You're not. That question had no business whatsoever coming out your mouth at all. Zero. The mother-in-law or the mother, come on. I've said this before. If you didn't think there was a problem, you wouldn't lie. What was the fight about? Dessert. The hell? You don't think that's a problem. You want people to apologize to each other and everything. Tell what the issue was if you did not think there was an issue. But no, you quickly came up with a lie to cover up what you do was wrong. So, yeah, from the mouth of the person who says, you go low, I will go lower. I just can't go this route. I just can't do this. That was
the difference. I think yesterday we had the guy who met the energy just to. So yesterday the story was that a woman came up and zeroed out the gay guy and was like, so do you like taking it up the ass or does your husband, kind of thing, like meant for the shocker. And the guy turns around and just kind of says something as obnoxious. I forget what it was.
I remember. Do you like
Yeah.
your knees or sorry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you the one on your knees or on your back? You know, so and then she ends up getting so incensed. The thing there was he met that energy with like energy. It is not taking the energy and then going like 5 times as low.
Yeah.
And completely knocking you out of the park.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It was matching energy. This OP was not matching energy.
Right.
This was woo.
And I probably would have had some weird take on that one too. I don't know. But a lot of things for me is just like I'm not that quick. Right? Like I've never been the one who could do like I couldn't play the dozens. Like that's not me. I don't move fast enough on like witty responses, right? I overthink everything. And
That's
in the world
funny,
of
Biff, because I actually would say you are very quick in what I have witnessed. So interesting.
It's a different skill set, right? Like if you come at me with something that's factual, or I need to be able to empathize, or I need to be able to strategize, I can do those fairly quickly because we're living in a land of like facts and figures. It's the kind of stuff I focus on. But being able to come back with a clap back, I've never really been good at those because there's a certain skill to that, right? You have
Right, there is.
wordplay.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into it. And before I can land on where I need to be, I end up like 3 rounds in, right? Like you done hit me 3 times, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. So for me, it's always been more like I stay out of those arenas, because I won't read you well. I really won't. Where you think that we're not quite playing, but it's just part of that intermediate, bantering. I'm taking it seriously because I'm taking what you're saying literally, because I've already established I can't keep up with you. So now that means you're insulting me and taking clean shots at me that I can't answer. So now you're trying to embarrass me. And now I can shift the game. Now I can shift the game to where I want to be, which would be much more of a physical environment. So now I'm going to turn the game around, and it's not going to be funny anymore. All right. So because I know I overreact and I know that I'm not quick in that particular way, I stay out of that. And that's probably one of the reasons why I don't do the petty stuff, right? Because if you're willing to go petty, you got to be willing to do this. You got to be willing to take it as much as you give it. So I choose not to give it. So I don't have to take it. You give it to me, I'm going to try to hurt you. So it's just, I don't know. It's just the way I kind of grew up.
Yes, Afro. We already said that the story was fake. It was.
Yeah, and I don't know that story, Afro, but I'm with you on what you just conveyed, because I've long held that I'm going to meet your energy with 1 degree more. Right?
It got bad at the end. I did a reel or not yesterday, and the ending of it made everything sound fake, because it was like this Karen who was acting like a Karen throughout the whole story. All of a sudden went to.
She had an enlightenment, and she was so sorry.
And now she's a nun in a monastery up in the mountains somewhere. So it's like, I can't do you, lady. The story was just brutal. But anyway, Mafia video of the week. I promise you, when I was looking up videos, I was going to go back to the old-fashioned, corny, commercial type videos just so we could laugh at it. And look how corny these commercials is from the 80s and the 90s. So I looked up, videos that did not age well. And I came across one I could not resist not putting it on this show. The irony of this video.
Everywhere I go in America, everywhere I've gone on this fantastic journey so far, people walk up to me with pictures of their children and say, "Governor, I want my child to look at the White House and to be proud of what he or she sees." I believe it's important for America to have confidence in their leadership. I think it's really important for moms and dads to be able to point to the White House and say, that person has brought honor and dignity to the office.
It was like a typical Republican ad. No black folks, no Asian folks, all white folks, and that politician point, because they're not allowed to point with their finger, so they do this thing.
Yeah, the thumb.
They could run that ad again now. And in fact, Trump ran a couple like that. So yeah, it's just I
love the acceptance. Acceptance coronation when you become president of the United States and you walk out on stage. And I know it's supposed to be this is how goofy my head is. I always count how many times the person just looks into the crowd and just point to random people. You know damn well you can't see who that person is, but it don't matter because you recognize them out of the tens of 20s of 30,000 people that came to your rally. Anna, you know the one because they'll go.
Yeah, that's like standard stagecraft, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, go to a concert, go to any public speaking, that's stagecraft. You're playing to the camera.
Yeah,
unless you're Trump, because then you'll say, look at my African American. But other than that, yeah, it's just kind of, and more often than not, the lights be all in their face. They can't see nobody, no way.
At all.
That.
And his wife saw the woman slap. Yeah, I forgot that part of it. Foxy already put her spin on that one. I forgot to tell you the dude got slapped in Walmart and the wife saw the woman slap his husband. And Foxy already said, if I see somebody slap my husband, I'm finna drag her. So
well, different personalities, because I know I'm willing to bet my wife ain't about to go fight nobody.
My wife would. No. I know 2 family members right now who is willing to still go toe to toe.
Toe to toe.
Yeah.
Cup to cup.
I have to. If anything, you got to keep my kids from getting on that woman. That's what you'd have to worry about. My girls will jump on, but my wife ain't doing that. My wife would be trying to keep me under control because I'm not going to fight a woman. All right, unless you pose a physical direct threat to me, I ain't gonna fight no woman. But I might just hit or strike any dude close to you that I can reasonably assume is with you. Like, you gonna catch a fade just because of her, right? But no.
See, but Afra, it's a performance though, right? Like, do you know the people you point to, or
you're acknowledging people, Marlon?
Yes. You're welcoming people. You're interacting because
individual people you don't know.
Yes, they came to see you.
Of course.
So you give them that moment of, yeah, man, I see you right there. I see you. Appreciate you. Hey, look at you, brown shirt. What's up?
It's so cringy to me because it's not like you're waving and they're pointing like, hey, it's like you're waving and they're pointing like you so surprised they showed up. Like,
hey.
I don't know.
Hey.
I think it's stagecraft. I think it's appreciating that people came out and
it is.
Stuff.
From someone that's been there, done that, yes.
I say people I recognize.
Yeah, she said for real when she was commenting.
And yeah, Afra's a singer as well. And I grew up singing and on stage. You would always, if you saw someone you recognized, you'd be like, hey. But you would very generally look at your audience and acknowledge, and there was something very special between performers and the people that enjoyed that performance.
I'm sorry. I'm not a performer then, because I just get on the microphone and say, hey, everybody.
Yeah, you wouldn't be very good at performing.
No.
But if you were in the front row at a New Edition concert and Ralph Tresvant looked at you and waved, you would feel, hey, that's nice.
You feel like,
Recognized I'm
so
here. Even though Ralph Tresvant is actually waving at the person 2 rows past you.
I know he is. And that's my point. No, I would not be excited. I know he's not pointing at me going, hey, you. Hey, Ralph.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Mr. Telephone Man, let's go.
I'm sorry you don't know about.
I know.
This is funny because I like to pick at Marlon because like he's an actual fan. Like he's a fan of New Edition.
Yeah, New Edition is my favorite group.
You don't travel
years without seeing them no more, but yeah.
You don't travel and pay money to see groups like that and just be like, yeah, that's them. Yeah. I am that's them. That's why I'll never go to concerts. Like I know I've never been to a real concert, and the main reason, well, a couple reasons. One, I don't like crowds. I don't like uncontrolled environments. So that's my biggest issue. I have social anxiety when it comes to stuff like that. And then
That's why I like being on stage.
And then 2, I like if it's a group or a singer that I like their music, I like their music. I like the studio version. Like it could be one of my favorite songs, but when that junk come on, it'd be like, and it'll be on the radio and they'll say live version. It always sucks. So I was just like, now give me studio version. I want it mixed and layered and all that wonderful stuff that comes with it. Because when you sing it for real, it's horrible. And then I got people next to me who are tone deaf and they screaming it out too. No, we're not gonna make
When
this.
the last time you been to a concert?
I've not never. I can't say never. I did go to a Kirk Franklin concert at my college gym.
God dang.
Wow.
There you go. I went to that and I still remember because at one point, I don't know, I guess he was high or what. I'm sorry, I can't say that about that man. There's something off with this brother. But he said he was singing and all the people were singing with him. And he was like, now my white people. What? And I'm sitting there like,
what?
Yeah, seriously. It was so funny. It was funny because I went to a PWI. So most of the people in the gym were black because it was Kirk Franklin. But most of the people at the university are white. So there was plenty of white people there. And he's like, hey, now my white people. like, dude, that was a little awkward. Like,
ooh.
Yeah. But no, Afra, I think I am safely at the point where there's no need for me to go to a concert. I don't want to go see old rappers rap. And my favorite R&B singers are pretty much all dead. So
you never went to a concert when you was younger, like before college?
Before college?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Before college.
Same.
Bruh, when I was in high school, I went to work, I went out to eat, and I chased women. That and pretended like I could play sports. I did do a lot of that. But no, go spend my money to go to, even back then, I was like, I'm not spending money to listen to people around me scream.
Not even a rap show? Wow. My first concert was a rap. It was the not Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J. It was just like a whole line of hip hop rappers. And it was outside. It was packed. It was crowded. It was everything. I was hooked ever since.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to help. You just literally said it was packed. It was crowded.
Yeah. No, all that's a no-go for me.
Packed, crowded, and the weather.
If I'm going to go to here's the kind of concert I could go to. I'm at a bar and there's a live band. That would be the closest you get me to a concert. I got alcohol, I got food, I have a clearly marked exit, and there's only about 200-300 of us in this place. I could function with that one. But you put me in a coliseum or a stadium or a large, no, why? No. Oh, Afro, I'm in Metro Atlanta, so there's concerts galore.
Right.
I ain't going.
And I'm in Charlotte, so
Same.
Don't put me around a bunch of people.
if I perform near you, you and your wife got to come to my show.
Hey, if you come to the City Winery and you doing it like at that like a bar type spot, hey, let me know. But if you at the amphitheater,
have a good show.
Mercedes. I would love to go back to that Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That place was so nice. I loved it.
It really was.
I don't remember if I've been there. I might have been there. I don't think I've been there.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium is real nice.
It doesn't matter. It's a big building. You know what I'm saying? Like
every sports place is a big.
I do know what you're saying.
Which is why I don't really care, right? Like I've been to Atlanta Hawks games. I've been to Lakers game. Well, the Lakers were visiting, but I mean, I've been to like basketball games. I've been to the World Series. I've been to a lot of Braves games.
World Series?
Oh.
Yeah, I went to the Braves World Series in what was it, 95 maybe? I think that was the year they played the Indians. But yeah, went to the World Series. I didn't appreciate it. Hurt my dad's feelings because I sat there and complained about how cold it was, went to sleep and drank a $5 soda. But I've been to sporting events, but to go listen to somebody sing, no, we're not doing that. I don't like people singing off key. I don't like people yelling, and I don't like drunks that I don't know.
Games live in DC.
I'm not familiar.
I don't understand that one.
And when I was in DC, I was in high school, and I wasn't like doing any of those things.
If you can go to the World Series, you can survive a concert.
I didn't have the best experience at the World Series.
Yeah, somebody took you. Anyway, let's move on, everybody. Positive story of the week. This is a positive story and more of a funny story because it's the one funny story where I do not work here lady type of thing did not erupt into a Karen and police and the manager and everything else. But it's a kind of cool story. Japan.
So, some background. I recently got married to my dear husband last January. My husband and I work in Japan, and we're both expats, so we kept our wedding guest list short and limited our immediate family and close friends because our families would have to fly here just to attend. It's quite a big ask. My husband and I are also very introverted. We don't drink, we're not overly fond of parties, and we're both very close to our immediate families. So we thought, instead of having a bachelor or bachelorette party, why not host a dinner for our respective families? We both agreed, and our families liked the idea too. They wanted to spend some time with us on the last night before we were officially married. He and his father went to another restaurant, and me and mine to another. My family is composed of my parents, my brothers, my sister-in-laws, my aunts, and my uncles. So on to the scene. My family and I went to this Chinese restaurant at the hotel we're staying at. My family loves Chinese food, so we thought it was a great choice. We had a whole room reserved for our table, so we had some privacy. Because we were in a room, we had one head waitress, who was the liaison between our party and the waitstaff. She spoke Japanese, and I could also speak Japanese, but my family could not. So I sat at the end of the long table, so it was easier to talk to staff because I did a lot of the translating back and forth between my family and her. If she asked a question, I would translate for my family and relay the answers to her in Japanese. If my family had a question, it was the same deal. When the third dish was served, she came to ask me a question about the fourth dish. She asked me, should we serve the fourth dish individually, or should we let someone decide how much to put on their plate? I told her, individually, please, thank you. She then says okay, and by the way, this party is for the wedding tomorrow, right? I tell her, yeah, we're all really excited. Everybody flew in from another country, and it's been so stressful, but it's finally tomorrow. With that, the woman gestures to my brother and sister-in-law, who were coincidentally sitting in the center of the long table, and she asked, are they the lucky couple? They look so good together. I told her, I'm the bride-to-be. She then went quiet for a full 20 seconds, and I felt so bad for her, so I laughed it off. I then say to her, "Oh, but I agree, they do look good together. They've been married for a good 4 years already." At this, she sighs, hopefully in relief, and says, "I'm sorry, I thought you were the tour guide." I told her, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it." She then excused herself to take care of the 4th dish. My brother then asked me what that was about and if there was a problem. I told him, "She thought you and your wife were the ones getting married tomorrow." He told me it's probably because I look like the tour guide for the group. I responded, "Yeah, that's what she said. Do I really look like the tour guide?" Brother says to me, "I mean, everybody's paired off. You're the only one without a partner, and you're the only one who can speak Japanese. You've been talking to her about everybody's orders basically the whole night." We then told our family about the conversation, and everybody had a good laugh. I made sure I went to talk to the head waitress afterwards to make sure she was alright, and she was. I also made sure to talk to the manager to let him know that his staff was exemplary. We don't give tips in Japan, but I would have tipped her so much if I could.
Wow.
That had to be one of the most boring positive stories.
Lame.
Oh, good Lord.
Lame AF.
So boring.
And just as he was about to walk out of the restaurant, an old grandmother came up to him and asked him, "Come with me, young man. You look like you're homeless."
I mean, that lady was rude. It was rude to make that assumption on people. But no, this is basically, hey, we went out to eat, and I could speak the local language, so I spoke the local language, but my boyfriend wasn't with me, and so the end.
Wow. Welcome back, Theus.
What?
Foxy's videos of the week.
Y'all can. Hey, y'all could have talked about the positive story.
Thank you, Parker. Thank you. So easy. Well, I'm going to show the video that Afra did send me that I think hits on still the same issue we've been having for a long time in the Black community. Don't touch me.
Literally tweeted to the members of Congress.
The oldest profession on earth.
You don't have to touch me.
Is not.
He literally tweeted to these members, "Thank you for doing this. I don't want you to touch me. That's my personal space.
I won't ever do it again.
Thank you." But
let's be clear. Touching someone without consent is disrespectful, no matter how nicely you think you did it. And when the person is a Black woman, there's a whole extra layer to unpack. Hello, my name is Dr. Raquel Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, professor, scientist, and podcast host. And if you're here to learn. So let's talk about why unwanted touching, especially when it happens to Black people, isn't just disrespectful. It's a violation, and why being nice about it doesn't make it okay. When Angela Rye told that man, "You don't need to touch me," she was addressing a violation, point blank, period. Unwanted touch is always inappropriate, whether it's done with a smile or by force. Does not matter if you think you did it nicely. Consent is not about your feelings. It's about the other person's comfort, autonomy, and right to their own body. And when this happens to Black women, the stakes are even higher. Black women's bodies have been historically and currently controlled, policed, and treated as if we don't have full ownership over them. Then comes the classic flip of the narrative shift. Suddenly, Angela Rye is rude. She's aggressive or disrespectful. For calmly asserting herself, this is a manipulation tactic used to discredit, to make people sympathize with the violator, and that man is a violator, not the person harmed. This is a mental health issue too, because being constantly expected to accept those violations leads to emotional exhaustion, hypervigilance, and anxiety. This is part of the psychological burden that Black women carry, always calculating how to protect themselves, how we protect ourselves without being punished for it. So let me give you some tangible takeaways to deal with this in the future. For everyone listening, do not touch anyone without their consent ever. Niceness does not erase harm. For Black women and Black people overall, you do not have to minimize your boundaries or soften your voice to make others comfortable. Saying please don't touch me is enough, and you don't have to add the please. And for bystanders and the media, stop flipping the script. When Black women assert themselves, when Black people assert their right to safety and dignity, that is not aggression. That is self-respect. Angela Rye wasn't aggressive. She was clear and courageous, and we should all be standing behind her.
Well, my thing with this is I didn't bother watching the clip. I saw it making its rounds on social media. So 100% with what the lady was saying. The caveat I would place to it is stop giving a damn what other people think. Right. So we are going to be labeled as aggressive no matter what we do. We're going to be labeled aggressive. We're going to be labeled emotional. We're going to be labeled hostile. We're going to be labeled combative. We're going to be labeled all those things. And then you compound that with being a Black woman. And now I'm not a Black woman, but I'm surrounded by them. And I know that in this country and in this world, the Black woman is the least protected person on the face of the earth. So if she speaks up and says, do not touch me, that's it. That's it. First of all, you shouldn't be touching nobody, right? It was funny. I remember we had sexual harassment training at a company I worked with many years ago. And to be honest, all the Southern guys, myself included, we failed the test. We're gonna put it out there. The test had stuff in there that we just didn't ever think of. Like, for example, you and your female colleague are approaching the elevator. Do you speed up to catch the elevator door, or do you maintain your pace and whoever gets there first can catch the door? Guys are like, I'm gonna speed up so I can make sure the door don't close so she can get on the elevator. Nope. Now you're imposing upon her individuality. Or you go out to eat with your colleagues and the check comes. Do you reach for the check first, or do you allow time for her to reach for the check? And we're just like, check came, I just pick up the check. Nope. Same reason, right? Opening the door. Do you open the door for a woman? Do you speed up to hold the door open, right? Just like when you're entering a building type of thing. Nope. Same issue, right? So we're like all failing this one.
I'm failing this one.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
You're from the South.
It's anchored in chivalry, right? So in the South, we are taught a certain code of conduct when you're around a woman, right? For example, when we're walking down, you come out the grocery store and you're walking to your car, right? I instinctively move into the lane of traffic so that whatever lady I'm with ends up being effectively herded back towards the cars. So that if something comes down the lane, it has to hit me first, right? Mm-hmm. But that's also shrouded in, we call it chivalry, but really it's what's it? The male thingy.
Chauvinism.
It's not that term, but it's the other term. But yeah, but it's the same.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh, no, it's not toxic, but it's just being patronizing. Right? It's kind of like a patronizing thing. Like who are you to assert this degree of protectionism over another person, unless they've actively consented to you being that way, right? I get it. I'm gonna fail that test, right? Because if we walking down the sidewalk, I'm gonna be the one that moves to the edge by the curb. If we're approaching something that seems like it might be a little bit more threatening, I'm either gonna shift to where I'm right next to you, or I'm gonna shift to where I'm slightly behind you, because I need to react to whatever it is happens. If we're going down the stairs, I'm gonna go first, so if you fall, I can catch you, right? Like I'm gonna do those things, right? But I acknowledge that for everybody that is not okay. And if you let me know that's not okay, I'll stop doing it, right? But I think that's it's just one of those things. But with the Angela Rye situation, You do not, actually, all situations, you don't put your hands on
Don't
somebody.
need to
Like,
touch someone.
That's literally, that should never even be a question. Like when we were going through the Me Too situation, and it was only white guys I heard say this, but I'm sure there was some black guys out there that just as dumb. But oh Lord, now I can't even be in the same room with a woman, and oh Lord, now I can't. Sir, the problem is not you being present. The problem is how you show up.
Did we not talk about this last night, Anna? Did we not grow up in a generation hearing over and over and over again, keep your damn hands to yourself? We grew up in that generation. I don't know where it got lost at. It was either it's to de-escalate a fight or get your damn hands off that candy because I ain't buying it. Either way, it was keep your hands to yourself.
That precedes, and what we're talking about is bigger than that, because the reason that had to be said when we were coming up through the 90s is because women were finally being able to use their voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason.
Hold on for 1 second. Kevin O'Leary, I thank you so much because I could not remember that dude's name. Kevin O'Leary has been on the
Shark Tank
for years. I think he actually, he literally started it because they had a British version of it first. And he started on there and then he came over here.
But we have a history when it comes to.
Oh, I don't think so.
When it comes to European Americans, especially European American men. Well, actually, no, it's not just men and women. Remember our unique relationship with them. So, like wanting to touch your hair, right? We call it petting. To them, they think they're just touching, but no, for us, it comes across like you're trying to pet us, right? Don't try to touch my hair. Don't stroke my shoulder. Don't rub my arm. I don't need to be touched. Say what you got to say from where you at. Right?
When you have little babies and they want to touch your child's hair or they want to hold your kid or touch them something, don't touch my kid, period. I hated that. That was my pet peeve. Do not touch my child.
Yep.
I don't think I ever had that issue though. I have a
the hair. Oh, my kids never had that. That's your child. Do not touch.
It's good for you.
Don't touch my kid.
I think I always walked around with my kids with a resting bitch I will fuck you up face. So nobody actually would try to touch my kid or touch me. Especially in the hood. No.
Well, in the hood, you ain't gonna run into that, bro.
I'm about to say that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true.
But I remember going out to eat with my family, and my girls have so much hair. And my daughter couldn't have been maybe 2 years old. She was real small. And this other little small baby child was just fascinated with my child's skin tone and wanted to touch my child's face. And I was very polite in how I intervened, but I made my presence well known to the parent. Like, you need to address this. The child meant no harm.
Mm-hmm.
The child was acting out of curiosity.
Right.
But it's kind of like if you got a dog that bites people, it's because you never socialized your dog. Socialize your child. You do not put your hands on somebody else. I don't give a damn how curious you are. Right? My child ain't running around trying to grab every little, white girl hair. Ooh, it's so yellow. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. But when you think you have a certain level of authority and autonomy in the world, sometimes you feel like you can press up against things around you.
Afra, I'll show that clip. I still have the email. I'll show that clip the next time we come back. We are off next weekend, so just to let you know, like I'm straight up busy Saturday. Like,
I have to go to church next weekend.
Fine.
Sounds so excited.
I got to go to church. Woohoo!
Yeah, it's hard, Foxy. It is hard for me to go to church. It is so hard.
Is it the getting up early part, or
No, I'm up every morning about 5:30, 6 o'clock. It don't matter to me.
Sometimes those benches are really uncomfortable.
Nope, we got padded benches. It's been my church since I was 16 years old. I know almost everybody there, kind of, sort of, because I don't ever go no more. So there's some people that I don't recognize. But no, it's really difficult for me because we've had so many discussions about religion. The stuff being said don't make sense. So I'll just be sitting in there like, and it'd be all in my face. Y'all know how my face do.
Yeah.
So, Marlon had said something like years ago, like,
that's not Easter yet, Afra.
I'd rather believe and it not be true than to not believe and it be true.
I've heard that a lot, but here's the problem with that. That's not faith.
Well, that's the beginning.
Nope. That's fear.
It starts with a thought. It starts with your thought process.
Nope.
And then you get to learn in the word. And then
Nope.
maybe it takes root. I don't know. Because faith starts somewhere.
I hear you, but if your rationale is hedging your bets, that is not coming to the spirit with the spirit. That is, I am hedging my bets. I'm afraid that if I'm wrong,
because if you're a logical person,
oh, for the love of God, he's logical.
That's a barrier to faith. You can't be logical. You can't.
Yeah, it's a barrier to faith.
Because that's not the same. Because faith doesn't work like that. Faith is believing before you see it. It's not logical.
Now, faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right? I feel you, but that is in contradiction to saying I better find something to believe in just in case I'm wrong. That's that's not Christian.
That's the beginning. That is the beginning of the process.
Yeah, but I've kind of grown up to the fact of I'm going to believe in things until you give me a reason to not believe in it. And as the years go on, that's becoming easier and easier to identify that. No, that's bullshit. No, that's bullshit.
I'm a person of
faith. Not see more one way than the other.
No, I mean, I'm a person of faith. I have a belief system.
Yeah,
I believe in the Creator. Yeah. Where you get me is like all the contradictions and the rationalizations and going circling back on yourself and and then like just as a small nugget like that kind of premise of well I rather believe and be wrong than not believe and be wrong. It's why are you really believing? Because honestly, you're supposed to be believing out of reverence for God and all the stuff. So if you're doing it because you're afraid, well, that's not love, right? That's fear, right? And if God knows your heart, God knows that you're only here because you were afraid. More often than not, the way people do come to Christ are generally one of two ways. One, they're raised up in it. And then the other is that you're at a low point in your life and in search of healing, direction, or meaning, and you find yourself, in the church. Either of those, well, really the second one, I would allude more towards faith because you were in a desperate moment and you were seeking. Now, there's a psychological argument to that, but I'm not going to go there because it could be your faith walk. But as a child, and I don't remember, I think it was one of my pastors told us this when I was younger. He basically was saying, like, if you have this religion and you've never challenged your religion or thought or considered another religion, then you did not choose your religion. Your religion was chosen for you.
Well, my dad was a pastor, and I questioned everything. And he's not only a pastor, he's a holiness pastor. And he's a holiness pastor of a church that has a bishop that have churches throughout the entire U.S. So I questioned everything and ended up leaving the church when I was 15. Long story short is I'm a believer. I'm a saved by Christ, but I don't follow men.
I respect that.
He's still working on me.
Now, I respect that. I don't believe in Jesus anymore. Not in the same sense that other people do. But I definitely, I 100% respect what you just said. Because I follow the similar path.
But
I'm sorry?
I don't blindly follow anyone.
Right.
And I question everything. Because
right, but I'm talking about general. So, no, everybody's not as equipped or structured as you are.
Yeah. And more than that, I love history, and I love the history of religion. And I love the fact that all religion, or I wouldn't say all religion, but the majority of the main religion, they compete for followers. And I don't understand, like, why do you feel like you have to compete? Why do you feel that your religion is the one? And it's always been like that. But it's men that's really competing for power. Yes. And that's why I don't follow church. My religion is what my relationship with Christ, not with church. So
right. The distinction between what you were saying and I'm saying is that my relationship is with the Creator and not with Jesus. And yours is with religion, is with Jesus. Then what you were pointing out about like the power dynamics, 100% agree with you. 100%. Like it's you know, and you know, hey, that's why I don't mess with religion.
And it's very close to politics. But we can be
It is politics. It's all power.
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead, Mom.
I'm sorry, Marlon. We were having a great conversation. Thank you, Foxy.
I didn't say a word.
Oh, you said plenty, sir.
He gave me a look, y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
We saw it.
Wow. It's not my fault y'all took over my show on my birthday.
Oh, the truth comes out.
That's okay. The next video. No, it's not. Scars. The next video, I'm going to leave everybody up, including Anna, even though the video is going to cover Anna. But Anna, you already saw the video last night. I can't wait to show this to Thea. Rap in 2070.
I mean, because you work boss rich. Evo. You already know. Look. Meow, 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 meow. 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 Meow, 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 meow. I'm a meow, 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 meow,
The last one was just disturbing.
The last one for me wasn't like insulting because they were trying to do the crackhead imagery. It's either going to be crackhead imagery or you're going all the way back to the minstrel imagery. Either one of the two. The ashy lips thing, right? So you've literally taken a racist trope and did that. But whatever, you know, some people think it's funny because of like the Dave Chappelle skits or whatnot. But so that's that part. Now, me being me with the overall premise, completely gone. Because first of all, that's one of the best beats in hip hop history. So I don't doubt that would still be used in 2070. But what they're presupposing is that this mumble rap thing is just going to get worse. That's pretty much what they're saying. But I would actually push back and say that it's going to have the next revolution, which because things always double back on themselves. So we're going to go from this, and we're going to have a rebirth of conscious rap. Yeah, rap in 27 would be, oh, it's hot. And then that's going to be like the whole thing. Because no, literally it's hot, you know, but like, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, no, well, I won't see. Well, I don't know, 2070.
But
that's only 45 years, right?
they haven't done anything.
I don't want to say 90.
2070.
It's like, yeah.
25.
It's like 45 years.
Yeah, 45 years.
Yeah, I might still be here. Maybe. If the world ain't on fire.
Wait a minute. One more calculation. 53 plus 45. Nah, I can go. That's okay. I'm done. That's 98. I'm over it.
Well, I'm not going to lay claim to any of my time horizon.
I'm not claiming it. I'm just saying.
You know, because I do have an internal number, and it's not favorable. But
did you show that yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here until the clock stops, you know, and then I'll be one with the ancestors, and maybe I'll be sent back. I don't know.
All right, everybody. Last video of the night. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and that notification bells. I would truly appreciate it. Again, this is a video that I showed yesterday. I just wanted to get Thea's take on it. The country is falling apart. Where are all the Black supporters?
You know, I see, first of all, I just love us. I do. I love us. And it's one of the cool things about being here in Metro Atlanta. So beautiful. But I am so detached because I don't function in groups. So I've never learned all the line dances. I don't be knowing. Y'all better not try to pull me out there because I'd be like, man, I don't even know. I'm supposed to turn around now? Oh, okay. Turn this way? Oh.
Wow.
Go to YouTube.
Come on, man. Okay, yeah. Because at a certain point now, you don't have no excuse. They got line dances on YouTube everywhere.
They do, but you got to know what you're looking for. So, like, I know.
Look up line dance.
I know because you just put in line dance, you're going to end up with that white folk stuff.
Look up black line dance.
Yes, and then there's certain ones, like some of the newer ones, like, well, that was none of them are really new per se, but I am like entry level black line dance. I am slide to the left, slide to the right. Like you giving me instructions while we doing this thing, right? Because I'm gonna have trouble knowing when I'm supposed to do a double dip back versus just a single dip, and then like you rotating to the left or you rotating to the right. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know what I thought was real cool though, Marlon? For Valentine's Day, Tiffany took me salsa lessons, right? I think I told you about this, but we went and it was funny. It took me about halfway through because see, I know salsa. I'm not great at it, but I know it. But we also did bachata. We did bachata, and it was when we got to the bachata, I was like, wait a minute. This right, I know the electric slide when I see it. Right? It's like I was hitting that one. I was like, oh, I know what.
Oh, that one you got.
Yeah, because it's a song, it's the kind of thing you grew up with. You know, it's like it's beautiful. To me, it's so beautiful because I've always loved Latin culture anyway, but the reason why Latin culture is different than Spanish culture is because Latin culture is that blend of indigenous African cultures, right? It's like a blend. So when you go to the Caribbean and you go to things like that, that's like an Afro blend to it. And you're like, oh, we all doing the same thing. We just got, we just arranged the music a little different. Mm-hmm. But if you try to get me to go to like, I don't know where I was, and they were doing like some kind of one of them white line dances, I don't understand them. I don't understand them. But hey, I see people smiling and have a good time, and that's all that matters. But if I am anywhere and somebody yells out yeehaw, I'm leaving. That's not a place for me.
Nope.
Well, Black people have hold-downs.
Yeah, I'm not with them Black people. Like that comedian, what was that old comedian? He's probably on Def Comedy Jam. So he's like, if I hear yee, I'm not sticking around for the ha.
Do you like country music? Because there's like a couple of really good country music singers that I really like.
I can honestly say no, but I don't begrudge those who do. I think all music is how different cultures, communicate and share community, right? So no particular music style is better than the other. It's just some I like and some I don't, and I am highly partial to R&B, rap that was before 2002-ish, and Latin music. I like certain types of Latin music. And the one song that Nelly did with whatever that guy's name is, and they did the over and over again, that's the only song that I like from Nelly, because everything else Nelly has done is now basura. The Cotton Eye Joe people. Now we're not gonna be able to do that one. And I remember I was at I don't know if it was this company or a prior company. White folks love that song. They love that damn song. The only song they love more than that Cotton Eye Joe is YMCA. For some reason, they love YMCA. And maybe Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. They love those three damn songs. Oh, God. But Cotton Eye Joe, whatever that. You expect me, a woke ass black man, to be okay as you play Cotton, whatever the hell, Joe? We're not going to do that. We are not going to do this.
Did you know tap dancing was a merger of Black American rhythm dancing and Irish step dancing?
I did not know that, but it makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah.
And it is exhausting to watch. Like my calves burn just looking at someone tap dance. More power to you. Plus, I got bad balance. I done fell over or something. No, we're not doing this. And then we're gonna put sand on the floor. Why am I'm not make the floor dirty so I can no. I'm sorry.
The only thing I can think of is who cleaned it up. Anna, you have the last word for the night.
I'm done.
Then tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me around here.
Wow. Theus?
Hey, y'all make sure you go check out Anna at BoreliaEtc.com. And, you know, you can catch me here, hanging out with the Peach. And then if you're not subscribed to Tracy Media LLC, you need to do so, because I swear she is just like every damn well. She got 50 videos a day. So go over there, throw some likes for her. And then if y'all bored and you ain't got nothing else to do, you can check out Our United Core. I'm starting to put out a few videos here and there. There'll be more coming along the way. So, you can wander that way. But hey, yeah, that's me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Theus. And until next time, we will see you when we see you, which is not next weekend. We will not be here next weekend. It'll be in April. Peace.
Hey, so Marlon, so we recording next weekend?
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Okay.
Cancel all plans and everything. Just make sure that you're ready at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
I just got to wrap up because I got to go to church on Sunday.